It's good, YouTube. Yu-Gi-Oh! Bender here, coming to you with my first Sky Striker deck profile on the channel. And I've tried around with it, played around with it. I'm gonna give you my thoughts on it so far, and I will be changing it throughout the format. So expect updates. So first, 3 Ray, the card that gets everything going, allows you to go into your links and allows you to get a monster back if they leave the field. Very important to the deck and how it functions, and I usually have no problems with her. She gives me everything I need. This is the Sky Striker you want to see from the monsters, and the other one you want to see is Rose. And Rose don't come up as much, but when I played today, her effect did come up to where I was able to summon her from grave. It comes up too when you need extra damage when you're going for game, and just having another chance to see a Sky Striker monster outside of Ray allows you to continue to play too. But obviously you rather have Ray over Rose, but I do think Rose is a good addition to the deck, and I think it is important, you know, especially with 1 engage and 1 hornet drone, so that does matter. Hand traps, triple ash, the best one still. A lot of people been liking Skullmeister, a lot of people been liking Bell, but Ash just pretty much hits every main deck and slows them down. And this deck isn't as explosive without access code, so you still need a way to stay in games or out advantage your opponent, and hand traps allow you to do it. The other one is Ghost Bell, which is important because it hits the other stuff that Ash doesn't hit, which makes the perfect combination for the deck. And Valor, obviously, for Celine. And this did come up just like the other hand traps. Being able to negate monster effects, being able to use this with other hand traps and impermanence to really stall your opponent out and make them basically end their turn. And this is a lot of Tri-Brigade players at my card shop. This card allows you to break boards, and it allows you to get a monster that can get rid of back row or floodgates. And if you don't play Nightmare Phoenix or something, this is a way to get rid of Imperial Order, basically. Triple Sky Striker Widow Anchor, very, very amazing. Multi-role target, negate monster effects, allow you to climb into your Nagirsus and your access codes and just make the game a lot easier. So you already have hand traps that stun your opponent, and then you have this card that cripples your opponent even more, and it just gives you so much versatility of how you want to attack and defend with this deck. I played double of this. I felt like I needed to, because when I played long games, I still needed a way to get to Ray, or I still needed a way to get to my cards, and this card does it. And on top of that, people like to banish it, so you want the other one. Double afterburners. Some people play 1, some people play 2. I play 2 because it does come up when you blow up a back row, and it does come up with cards that can be destroyed by card effects. And it does help with Rose. Double Shark Cannon. This card was amazing because all the decks right now is graveyard based, and to be able to take a monster, go into access code, go into Neen, go into Celine and all that stuff is a lot easier when you have Shark Cannon. Plus it banishes a lot of cards that are problematic, or you know they want to bring back, or you know they want to use the effect in grave, and this card, as soon as they send it, banish it. And a lot of people would just be like, oh my god, I wish he didn't have that card. So having a searchable DD Crow that's also reusable because of multi-role, it is just essential to the success of this deck. I play 2. Some people play 1. Some people play this and other back row disruption. This card has been perfect for me just because it's searchable and it's recurable. So having the ability to get it whenever you want it, plus also being able to reuse it whenever you want it with Kagari and stuff, I just like 2 because it's a lot more back row decks or a lot more back row you want to get rid of, and this card just does it for you. Engaged, obviously the card that added more consistency to the deck, allows you to see more of your cards, allow you to get to the cards you need, plus it gives you that extra draw, which this deck is very slow compared to other meta decks in combo. This card is important. The other card that's at 1 multi-role, this card is probably the 2nd or 3rd best card just because it allows you to reuse the cards that wins you the game. This is a spell deck, and if you're not using access code, you're going to use your spells to keep advantage. and this card allows you to continue to do it over and over. I do play the Ego Booster. This came up multiple times too, being able to protect your monster or just being able to keep it on the field so you don't lose the monster, so that way you can continue to play on your turn or even use it on your turn as a defensive card. And then obviously Hornet Drones, this gives you the token, so that way if you don't have Rose Array, you can use it defensively too, which I did today. I don't play Desires because I don't like banishing cards that's all situational. This deck has a bunch of cards that you want to be able to have them. That's why you play multiple copies or some of them at one. So I don't really like losing them, especially when you banishing 10 of them and you might need 1 or 2 of them, or you might banish all your ratios of a particular one that you might need later in the game. So I don't even play the Desires. I just play the 2 goods in the fusion, because you basically, with the field spell, with Kagari, with Shizuku, with Hayate, only thing that's going to hurt you real bad is the hand traps. And that's, so many people are playing a lot of hand traps. So you basically want to be able to stay in games or slow your opponent down. That's why you play the defensive way. And you also do play a lot of hand traps, so that way your opponent isn't really getting over you or making insane boards to where you can't play. So I think that, you know, it's fine just playing this package. And then Rhoda allows you to see your monsters. I still do play the mind control. I wish I saw it more, because there was a lot of situations where if I had mind control, I probably would have won. But since I didn't, I wish I synced it more. Some people wish they would have got rid of it, didn't play it. This actually was a card that I wish I would have drew, but I never did it all day. Mystic Mind came up. This is a pathetic card to play, but it's also a card that you need, especially if you don't play Desires, to give you those extra draws or them extra turns where you normally wouldn't have it. And it also forced your opponent to try to figure out a way to out it, which helps you out because it makes them play differently. And then another defensive card that I play alongside mine and the other ones are Called by the Grave. Certain effects and certain cards you want to get off, so Called by the Grave allows you to do that. I didn't see it enough today, but when I did see it, I banished stuff like Eldritch and stuff, so it hurted the opponent a lot. So it even came up defensively. Upstart, just add another spell that gets you to the cards that you need, plus puts a spell in grave. Terraforming for the mind, and obviously the field spell. And the only traps I run is 3 imperms. This didn't see it enough, but we know it's one of the best cards in the game, and it's just another Veiler that's more versatile. Extra deck, it's pretty simple. It's pretty standard, I should say. I don't really disagree with this ratio. 1 access code. You want this over Boar Sword just because it can blow up back row and floodgates too. Plus on top of that, being able to go into it so easily just wins games that if your opponent draws bad or they can't really get the cards that they need, it just allow you to end those games quicker and allow you to go into game 2 and 3 faster. Kagari, the one that everybody loves. I got 3 different ones, and people might not love that, but it's still a Kagari, still does the same thing, and this is the card that allows you to abuse your cards. My favorite one is Shizuku. I played 3. This allows you to get any Sky Striker spell, and it's powerful. I use this card a whole lot, so this is my favorite one. Hayate got my 3. Don't use it as much as Kagari and Shizuku, but depending on what deck you go against, it does come up a lot. So it is really not as what it used to be when Engage was banned, but it's still the other one you want to see the most and go into the most because it does damage, and that's important, getting free damage in. Kinda allows you to gain life points, very situational. And obviously Zeke is also situational, where you just getting rid of their cards of mind control or just finding a way to get over boss monsters or even just banishing the sea so they lose their material. This card was perfect for the deck. They needed a card like this, and honestly and truthfully, I like it. Celine for the access code. Play 2 Veilers, so I play Celine in the Howley Fibrax, so that way I can go in the access code. And then in their Girsu, this did come up today, where I had to go into it just to out a card, outside Dragoon and other problematic cards, and I wouldn't cut it. Like, the only card that you probably would have played is Nightmare Phoenix, but honestly, this card is more of a card that you need more than that, because you have other ways to out back row and floodgates inside the deck, including access code. And then this card just allows you to out the non-destroyable monsters. Other than that, that's my Sky Striker deck profile. Let me know what you like, what you dislike, what you think I should change, what you think I should add. And I'm not going to show the side deck because I didn't really use it, or honestly, I did not play in the tournament. So the side deck did not matter. This is just the main deck. And it does depend on what locals you add in, what tournament you going in. That determines what your side deck is going to be. Other than that, Yu-Gi-Oh! Vendor gone.